I've got a question for you. Have you ever thought that emotions, that the feelings that we have actually can be weighed, that there's some sort of substance to them? And think about an emotion that you've had. Maybe you found that the stimulus checks that are being cut it's already hit your account, and you're feeling so much lighter, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, that maybe you have a reprieve on a few things, at least for a little bit. So the emotions that were, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Or things are a little bit challenging right now, can actually weigh on us. And then whenever they're lifted, oh, we feel like it's easier to breathe, that everything is a little bit lighter. Well, welcome to your first class of 3, Why Wait? Let go of what's weighing you down so you have the ability to leap into your next level of success. Because I'm going to tell you right now, whatever the scale says, whatever the measurement tape gives you, whatever the foods that you're reaching for, whatever movement you might have or avoidance of it, are simply symptoms. Symptoms of a focus, symptoms of emotional optimization, and then the results that come about from that, as far as, yeah, this is what you're going to weigh. And if you're being weighed down by everything that's going on in the world right now, by the time things get lifted, it's going to be harder for you to get yourself up off the couch, because you will have packed on the pounds and the inches as a result of those out of control emotions and focus. So that's what I want to do for you over these next 3 weeks, is give you the opportunity to come out, whatever you're experiencing right now, even better than when you went in. But to do that, we have to upgrade who you are, your identity, because this is something that I want you to keep in mind all the way through these classes. You will never outperform your inner identity. Susan, I'm glad you're here. Yes, and thank you for giving me permission to be able to see who's posting the names. Thank you. Okay, so as Susan just reached out and said, hey to me, I want to let you know that while I'm going through this training, if you have any questions, any comments, please post them. I'm here to help you bring out who you really are. Revelation, time for transformation is over with. Transforming from the butterfly into the caterpillar, we're done with that. Now it's time to take that butterfly and turn her loose so she can reach that next level of success. But to be able to do that, you need to know insider secrets on that mind, emotion, and body connection. And this is what I'm sharing with you. In fact, this training I'm giving you is a condensed version of an advanced hypnotherapist training I gave just a couple of weeks ago to other people in my industry, other hypnotists, some who have been in the industry for decades, on what it is that they needed to know to help their clients break through the blocks that were holding them back and turn those obstacles into opportunities. I am giving you a modified version of that for your own education, because I don't need to tell you what to do. I need to assist you in you discovering who you really are. Okay. So, by chance, if you happen to be joining me from our YouTube channel, from our podcast, Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire, or any other place besides our health, wealth, and happiness group, you want to know that this is one part of a 3-part training. To be able to access it, the entire group of on at drewdawnferguson.com. I know I just glitched there maybe just a little bit. So email me, dawn@drewdawnferguson.com, and I will then email you back how you can access these full trainings. All right. So let's get into this. You will never outperform your inner identity. And your inner identity is made up of three parts. It is the mental, the emotional, and the physical. The physical, I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can see, and you'll get access to the handouts as part of the group. So the physical is simply the results that you are getting. Now, that's not necessarily your dreams turned into reality. It is the results that you're getting day by day basis because of the actions that you're taking. You're getting results of an upgraded identity, or you're reinforcing the identity that you were given previously. 80% of who you are, with your weight, with your finances, with your friends, with your love relationships, 80% of who you are in life was learned by age 8. Say what? Yeah. And it was handed to you based on the people around you who were authority figures. So it could have been parents, could have been older siblings, other relatives. It could have been teachers, coaches, friends. So 80% of what you're expressing right now was learned by age 8, not based on your brilliance, but based on who you needed to be for someone else to be okay. Can you see how now we might have a challenge, especially when you're in a crisis position? Because when you're in a crisis position, your powerful mind is going to scan your database of previous experiences and go, okay, so what did people in authority around me do? I'll give you an example of this. My father was a St. Louis City police officer for over 30 years. And so I was raised that being of service to others was the ultimate calling, that it's as high as you could get in self-actualization. And I was also raised with, you're not going to be able to make any money at it. So in the first couple of years of my business, I was booked solid, but I wasn't making any money because I was giving myself away. Now, let's think about what you may have learned around crisis and how to use food to make that crisis at least a little bit okay. All right. So results. Results come about from us taking actions every single day to reveal who we are. But with our pyramid of identity, which is what we're looking at, our results are based on what's known as motivators. And there are 5 of them that we're going to be going over in your training. Motivators are what keep you moving towards your dreams turned into reality with those consistent actions, or away from pain. And you cannot be doing both. You can only do one or the other. We're moving into progress or we're moving away from pain. So the motivators then determine the actions. And there's a large body of evidence in psychology that says these motivators actually show up as different aspects of our personality. So there's one known as status that says, look at me and what I can do. And you can probably imagine that status is progress oriented, but it also can be pain oriented as far as what we would call being really thirsty, posting pictures, trying to get attention on social media for status, instead of saying status is, let me show you how you can do it for yourself. So that's just going to give you an example of motivators. But motivators and the 5 different aspects of our personality are determined by our focus. And we have a focus that is known as wound to wealth. That means that we were wounded at some point in our life. There was something that we needed that we couldn't have, typically before age 8, most definitely before age 13. And there was something that was missing in life. We just couldn't have it. So we made it to mean that not that it wasn't available, it just wasn't available to us. And then we learned to overcompensate so others could be okay. And then maybe if they were okay, they would throw us a few tidbits to make us okay. And even though we craved love, we learned to settle for connection and living off the scraps that were left from others. But here's what's so thrilling about this, because that is the actual area where your brilliance is kept, where your light to be absolutely phenomenal, to come out as a leader. It's in the same place as your wound when you learn how to turn it on to be beneficial for you and everybody around you. Right now, we have a lot of people focusing on wounds where they were never taught how to cope in this type of crisis. From that, their motivators are being turned on. Get away from the pain with short-term actions. Those short-term actions are going to be, let's eat our emotions, and those results, we continue to reinforce that identity, because emotions can either be suppressed or they can be revealed through action. They have a power to them. But when we continue to eat to suppress and repress to them, we never get to tap into the energy that they have. And so we keep repeating this cycle. And out of everybody that's gone into this crisis, only 20% are going to come out better than when they went in, because those 20% are going to learn what it is that they need to reveal themselves at their very best. That's what I want to assist you with. By the way, if you know of someone that this can benefit, please share our group with them, because the world is going to need more leaders when things open back up that say, I already been through the valley, up on the path on the mountainside to the peak, and now I'm going to shine the light to show you how to do the same thing for yourself. Okay, so let's start getting in a little bit further on this, and bear with me while I go to the next slide. Okay, so now we're going to start getting into, can you guys see whenever I switch programs and share my screen? I'm curious what all you see on your end. Okay, so for us to be able to move from actions that are consistently reinforcing what we've had going on in the past, we have to go through a gateway known as symptom expression. Now, we're going to move into this in just a few minutes, where you're going to start asking yourself, when I go to eat, what's the true reason why I'm eating? So symptom expression, there are 4 types of symptom expression. Number 1, we engage in those activities, those results day after day after day. We engage in those, number 1, to soothe ourselves. So you want to be asking yourself, okay, why am I eating this? Why am I vegging out on the couch? Is it for me to be able to soothe myself? Thanks for letting me know, Susan. I appreciate it. So are you doing it to soothe yourself? Now, there's nothing wrong with soothing yourself. And as you can imagine, all 4 of these gateways to us being our very best have a progress side to them, and they have a pain side. Soothing ourselves is meant to temporarily alleviate whatever it is that we're feeling. This is when we eat our emotions. But there's the challenge, because emotions can literally be weighed. And if you're not moving them out of your body, you are going to weigh more the next day simply by suppressing them and repressing them. Think about it. When you carry around the weight of the world on your shoulders because you're having so many challenges, those emotions are weighing you down. You haven't moved them through. All right. So out of the four symptom expressions, number one, we're doing something to soothe ourselves. Number two, we're doing it because we want to avoid something. Avoidance isn't a bad thing. You ask me whenever things open up after this current condition, if I'll help you move. I will avoid you. No, I do not want to help you move. I have my values and I have my boundaries, and that's one of them. So avoidance isn't a bad thing, but it does turn into a challenge whenever there's something that we need to move through. I'll give you an example of this. There was a woman that I worked with that was fixing 3 different meals in the evening. One for the 2 teenagers who lived at home because they didn't want to eat her healthy stuff. Another one for her significant other because he didn't want to eat this healthy stuff and he didn't want to eat what the kids ate. And by the time she got around to fixing her meal, you guessed it, she was already exhausted, and I'll just nibble off of what I did for both of them. And she wound up eating twice the amount of things that were not going to be beneficial for her because she was avoiding having the conversation of, this is what I'm going to be fixing. If you want to partake in it with me, excellent. If not, then I can assist you in learning how to take care of yourself and you fix your own meals. So symptom expression, number one, we do it to soothe ourselves. Number two, we do it because there's something we're trying to avoid. Number three is, this is how I get attention. So we will engage in bad behaviors simply because we think we're going to get something out of it. And people tell me all the time, I'm a certified hypnotist. I'm also a certified instructor. I train others on this focus, feeling, action, connection. And people tell me all the time, I don't get anything out of it. I wouldn't keep doing it. Yes, you do get something out of it. I'll share with you. I worked with a woman, a large Italian family growing up. Remember how I said 80% of who we are, especially how we use food and motion in our life to feel better, was learned by AJ. Okay, large Italian family, they get together every Sunday night for dinner. She's the youngest one in the family. You got grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and cousins, and it's a huge group, and no one is paying her attention. She's about 3 years old. One day, she decides to get down and she's running around the table. And people are hollering at her, hey, guess what? As a kid, negative attention is still attention, because the part of our executive functioning center that makes decisions and determinations, discernments about, is this good or is this bad, doesn't start forming till we're 8. She's 3. Okay, so she's running around the table and they're hollering at her. She stops, she reaches up on the table and she grabs the first thing that's there, which happens to be a stick of butter, takes it down and shoves the entire thing in her mouth. Guess what? Now everybody is pointing and laughing and she's getting attention. Yeah. Only thing is, she didn't realize why at 30 years old, extremely obese, she would go to restaurants and stuff her face like that. And people would point and laugh. And she's like, Dawn, I don't understand. Why am I engaging in this behavior? Because she was taught that's how you get attention. Every symptom has positive intent, but it learned how to get that need met in a way that will hold you back. All right, so we've gone over, this is how I soothe myself. Um, this is how I get to avoid something. This is how I get attention. And then the last one is, this is how I will hold myself back so those around me won't feel bad. I remember hypnotizing a woman who had plateaued on her weight reduction journey, just to find out that there was a part of her that says, no, mommy and sissy will feel bad because I'm letting go of the weight and they're not. So you want to look at, before you engage in that food, are you eating it for hunger and nutrition? Or are you eating it for one of those 4 symptom expressions? And if you are eating it for a symptom expression, I'm not going to tell you to stop at this point. No, because I know as soon as I tell your powerful mind, it can't have something, oh, there's going to be the little rebel in you going, yeah, don't think so. Watch this, Dawn. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to learn on how to begin to move those emotions through your body. So once you realize that you're getting ready to eat it for one of these symptoms, I want you to do 10 minutes of brisk physical activity, just 10 minutes. Make sure the doctor has said it's okay for you to do that, but just 10 minutes. Because we have to move you up to higher levels in your brain. When your brain has been traumatized, the neural pathways actually look like something known as bramble bushes. If you've ever seen bramble bushes, they're low to the ground and they got stickers on them. The neural pathways in your brain in areas that have been traumatized. And guess what? We are going through trauma right now. Well, you get in those areas and it's like the little stickers are keeping you stuck from being able to move out. This is the reason why you can't think your way out. You can't feel your way out. I don't care how much meditation you do or how many gratitude lists that you put together. The only thing that will move your brain out of the place that's been traumatized is brisk physical activity for as little as 9 minutes and 52 seconds. We have to begin to retrain the brain that when something triggers you, you are not going to go to that dark place that I call it the forest of fear. Instead, we want to move up to where creativity and problem solving are kept. I call it the forest of faith, bringing you out at your very best. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to move. But the movement needs to be designed for you. And we're going to look at 2 different brain types. This is not based on my work. This is based on the medical community and what they've discovered. So we have the stress brain and we have the emotional brain. The stress brain are people who are genetically wired to already be on edge. So you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, gotta bring myself back from the edge. Well, here's what's phenomenal. The stress brain has got a great amount of energy they can tap into once they learn how to start moving it in a certain direction, which is up, progress, forward. So you got the stress brain. Now, if you happen to be a stress brain, you're going to find that you really enjoy moving your body, maybe getting out in nature and taking that brisk physical walk, or doing things to where you're enjoying those classes online, but you're maybe more of a solo person engaging in them. So you need activities that will help you begin to take the edge off of things in a way that will make you stronger. So stress brains do excellent with free weights and anything where you begin to learn how to channel that energy into pumping you up. Now, as a stress brain, you probably have already figured this out if it happens to be you, that you will eat in a way to calm yourself down. Those empty carbs and pastas and breads and different things like that to take the edge off. And again, I'm not telling you you can't have them. I am just saying you need to learn how to use what's already built up in your body first before you suppress it and repress it. By the way, if you have any questions on this, please let me know. Okay, so brisk physical activity, but in a way that's going to make you feel more powerful if you're a stress brain. Then we have the emotional brain. The emotional brain is the one that they look for things to get them pumped up. They're kind of flatlined. So they look for things that are actually going to add extra juice and energy to their life. So if that's you, you're loving engaging in groups, and you want to do things that are more endurance based, and there's a lot of people coming together if you happen to be an emotional brain. So your endurance, and you want to get people together, and you will go to foods that are really heavy on sugars and sweets to give you that edge. No, instead, you need to learn how far you can take it all on your own. Okay, so before you have the food, now we know that you're going to ask yourself, what symptom is expressing itself? And I want to be able to do 10 minutes of brisk physical activity before I engage in that food. Okay, now we're going to begin to wrap things up with your plan of action. Oh, and that's something that you want to keep in mind. Anytime you engage in any type of training or workshop, class, reading a book, always put together a plan of action if the person who's leading you doesn't know enough about the mind and how it works. Because the part of you, your powerful subconscious mind, that takes this information in is between the ages of 8 and 12. Round that out, that's a 10-year-old, okay? 10-year-olds aren't real good at putting together plans of action. And you don't want to have to wait for your conscious mind, that inner advisor, that wise part of you, to step in and distill all of the information. You want someone to be able to give it to you as quick as possible. So we will be wrapping up with a plan of action. But if you're doing it for yourself, if you're ever engaging in any type of material and you need to do it for yourself, you need to do it, if at all possible, within 90 minutes of finishing that piece of material, because the mind does a hard reboot every 90 minutes. And so you might say, for, the next hour or 75 minutes, I'm going to ponder this, but then I'm going to figure out from what I just experienced how it's all going to fit together for my very powerful subconscious mind to start acting on it. Because there's something known as your RAS, your reticular activating system. And that is the part of you that is the scout. It is scanning your environment all the time to find things that are going to support your emotionally dominant thoughts. And if your emotionally dominant thoughts are, well, that was really interesting, but I don't know what to do with it, well, then it'll find everything to be able to scan in your environment to find, hey, I can take in more information. I just can't do anything with it. Oh, we don't need any more people who are educated but not able to do anything by actually turning it into wisdom. Okay. So why are you eating this? What is the symptom expression? How can you move your body briskly for 10 minutes to lighten the load based on the expression of your brain? Please post here in the group what you're using to feel good while you move. I actually found a gentleman that is doing HIIT, high intensity interval training, that is phenomenal for both stress and emotional brains. I'll be sharing his link. He's on YouTube. He's posting a workout every single day, and it is phenomenal. Bonus, move your body every 90 minutes if at all possible for 10 minutes throughout your day. We need this to keep you out of the areas that have been traumatized and moving you up into that forest of faith. I have a hypnosis audio on my site that's called Taking Out the Trash, that can assist you with clearing out the junk mentally, emotionally, and physically from your past, in your present, or ever to arrive in your future, that would hold you back from being your healthiest. You can go to drewdawnferguson.com to take advantage of that. And then the last thing that I'm going to share with you, I would like you to give your insights, give your wisdom on what you're finding on this journey as we move along. Do it as a freestanding post in our Health, Wealth, and Happiness group, because this is what I'm going to do. As we complete over the next 3 weeks, today, next Monday, and then the Monday after that, whether you're live or via replay, as you share your insights and things that you're finding are working for you, you're going to go into a drawing. And that drawing is going to be for a free month's membership in my Dreams into Reality group, to where you're going to receive access to two different courses over a month's time, as well as access to me for questions. So you can start bringing yourself out at who you really are in all areas. Okay, I'm going to be going live this week in our group. Ask Me Anything on Thursday, to where we're going to have a check-in on what it is that you're experiencing. Remember, you're brilliant. Time to turn your light on even brighter. Looking for those posts on the activity, on the symptom expression, and how you're bringing yourself out at your very best. Until we get together on Ask Me Anything Wednesday, I look forward to seeing what you're sharing, so you can also turn the light on for others. Thanks. It's been an honor serving you. Bye now.